Hey everyone, it's Mike Valtos, and welcome to today's presentation on the Valtos SR Levels for Tuesday, November 7, 2017. Now, I posted the first video up yesterday showing the market's analysis from Sunday night into Monday morning, and I'm going to recap some of what unfolded right after I recorded that video. It's quite interesting, and what happened, again, I got some comments, people want to see it on other markets. I'm going to talk about Crude and DAX as well as E-minis and gold and euro currency. But again, I'm doing a webinar on the 8th on Wednesday. If you haven't signed up, I suggest you sign up. The link is in the description. If you can't attend, it's at 10 a.m. I understand, not everyone can attend. People got to work, bring kids to school, whatever. Then at least if you're registered, you'll be on the list for the distribution. It should come from Investor Inspiration to watch the replay. So a brief disclaimer before I begin. This presentation is for educational and informational purposes only. It should not be considered a solicitation to buy or sell a futures contract or make any other type of investment decision. Futures trading contains substantial risk and is not for every investor. An investor could potentially lose all or more than the initial investment. Risk capital is money that could be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle. Only risk capital should be used for trading, and only those with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Tools I use in this presentation are the Valtos SR Levels, which is a new indicator, right? It uses order flow to define support and resistance levels as the market is trading, and the order flows trader, which is the volume footprint chart. Now again, the SR Levels will work on a normal bar chart. So if you got nothing right now, if you have no NinjaTrader, no order flows trader, that's fine. You can download the free version of NinjaTrader and run the Valtos SR Levels on the free version. You just need a data feed. You can get your broker can provide you with a data feed on that, hopefully for minimal amounts. So anyway, let's take a look at the markets real quick. All right, so the first market I'll talk about is gold. Right now it's about just around 3 in the morning Chicago time. And again, I've been preparing for this presentation. That's why I'm looking at the markets now. But let's just walk it back a little bit here there. So if you remember yesterday, I forgot what time I recorded the presentation yesterday. I think it was around 2 a.m. I remember talking about this level here on Monday night, which is trade date Tuesday. This support level, right? It broke down through there. This support was what, 1280 and a half, more or less, 1280.6. You'll notice how, if you were to scrunch this chart up, okay. Again, I've experimented with drawing out these things 100 bars or whatever. You could adjust it however you like. If you have it too many bars out, it does get a bit, your charts can get a bit cluttered if there were a bunch of indicators, if there was a bunch of signals on there. But again, if you know the basics about support and resistance, right? When support breaks down, it becomes resistance, okay? And if you're going to treat that, if you believe in that, right, and there's a lot of truth to it, look for signals, look for shorts. If it's going to be a resistance area, and you're testing it and you get a signal to get short, it can be a legitimate signal. It's a legitimate, the market's telling you, hey, get short, right? If your support breaks down and it's going to become resistance, if we trade back up there, like here, we traded back up here. If you tried getting short in here, yeah, maybe you got stopped out if you got a stop right on the other side. But again, if you're using this as resistance, you might want to get short a little bit ahead of it, or inside of it, or I don't want to say on the other side, but definitely inside of it. We didn't come back up here, but now you're getting a signal. You have this resistance level here, right? This is what kills me about some traders is they try to be so precise, so exact in their trading. Like, oh no, it has to come right up inside this level for me to get short. Well, it doesn't have to. If you're getting a signal here right ahead of the resistance from earlier, your support becoming resistance, you're getting a resistance signal here, you take the resistance signal, you get short in here, right? Even if you're, okay, so forget this blue, forget this support that became resistance. Say you're trading this, remove this here. Say you're just trading this, right? Look at it. We sold off, came right back up to that area, and then you had a nice sell-off, from the 1280 area. What did we sell down to? We sold down to 1270, new lows, 1277, 1278. Even down here, you're getting another signal saying, hey, there's resistance selling in here. There's someone's got their foot on this market, pushing it down. And what happens is we trade down into new lows, 76, right? Then we just sort of hang around here going into the day session. You got this buy here. We did come back in, test that area. I mean, we got through it by what was that level? So this zone, 77.4 down to 77.1. What did we trade down? 69, 76.9. So 2 ticks on the other side. If you're strict on it and you have a stop right here, right on the other side at 77, you're gonna get stopped out. 76.9, you're gonna get stopped out. If you're a little bit lenient and willing to give it a little breathing room, maybe you're not stopped out. Again, it depends on where you're gonna place your stop. It sucks that the market comes down here, just pokes through, and then makes that rally that you're looking for. Just as here on this other side, right? You got this trade, and we started to sell off, then we rally back up. Again, you got 1 tick through. 79.2 is the top of this red zone. We hit 79.3, sold off a little bit, but then the buying came back in, and so if you're not stopped out here, you say you have your stop up here at 79.4.5, then you're stopped out. Market goes up, then again, almost at that same level. I mean, it is the same level. You get that sign that, hey, there is selling pressure coming in here. You can see it in the order flow. If I had an order flow chart up, but this indicator is designed to run on a normal bar chart, so it's actually reading, it's actually doing the order flow analysis in the background. Imagine having an order flow footprint chart running in the background and just putting up the signs on a bar chart is basically what's going on. And again, if you're getting short, this is a 1 minute chart, so you got time. You got time. This whole bar is 1 minute here, this next bar. Even if you're the slowest trader, you got mittens on or gloves on, sure, you got to trade with your feet. You could surely, within a minute, get short in somewhere in this bar, at, it's called 1278. Say going into the next bar. So you get a violent move from 78, right down to 75 point, we make a new low in the next 3 minutes, sort of bounce around, boom, 78, up here. All the way down to 70, what was that? 72.3. Bounce up. Here you got another sell signal. This one, it didn't work out. It would have stopped you out. I'm not going to say, oh, you got to place your stop way up here. No, I'd be placing it, 2 or 3 ticks past this zone. So I would have been stopped out, and then it makes the move. What can you do? Such is life. Here, this one never worked out. But then here, this one, what happens? Get a nice trade back up in here into the zone, 76.6. You just trade all the way down to 7, more or less 75 in here. You're coming into noontime. So, there's again, people say, oh, it had a loss here, it had a loss here. Well, fuck it. I mean, you're making it back on this one next trade here. Even if you miss this trade, from 78 down to 73, $5 in the gold. You're still getting, some decent trading opportunities. Not every trade is going to be a winner. I don't give a shit what you're trading. I honestly, I wish, I got a guy, I have a friend in Hong Kong. He's a great trading mind. I've sat down with him, I've met him in person, and we've talked about the markets, what we think works, what doesn't work. And at the end of the day, he's also in a quest for something that's got a high percentage winners. What he wants to do is just, I'll just throw 100 contracts. If we find something in the minis that works, I'll throw 100 contracts at it. If it's consistent, then go from there. Now again, if you're not a big believer in support becomes resistance. So this was that buy from earlier, right? Get this out here again. You can draw out these zones however you want. I don't like to draw it out too far, otherwise it gets a little bit messy on the charts. I mean, use your eyes. I know everyone likes to have everything computerized, but again, look at this. Support becomes resistance. You break down through it. What do? You trade back up in here. I mean, even if you were to draw it out, I mean, look at this. I can't extend that, but I'll just draw it out here. Again, where is your resistance, right? You're trading below this area. Now again, right, you have a big sell-off, right? This is 77, we'll call it 77.5. You're trading down to 2.5. You come back up. You think it's going to stop right on the dime. There's so much buying going on in here that it overshoots it by 3-4 ticks. And then your resistance level comes in again, and you sell off. I mean, there are guys, I know traders, this is how they trade. Support becomes resistance. Resistance becomes support. And they're just sitting here, loading up orders. You would break down, okay, I know I got this level here, and I'm willing to risk 3 ticks if I get $3 out of it. You know, I'm willing to risk 4 ticks, I get $4 out of it. You know, risk 3 or 4 to, you know, 30 or 40 cents to get $4. You know, that they'll take that trade anytime. So let's take a look at another market here. Okay, so this is Crude. Now this is a 1-minute chart, okay, and you know, people that know me know I prefer to trade on range-based charts, but I know a lot of people like minute-based charts. So that's why I'm focusing now on minute-based charts. And again, you know, one of the things you got to deal with when you're dealing with minute-based charts is you're going to have some bars that are very small. Like this one's got 2 price levels here and here, whereas the next bar after it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 price levels. You know, so you got to deal with that in your analysis. You got to understand, you know, especially if you're looking at order flow, you got to understand, you know, the importance of the smaller bars and the bigger bars. So, you know, let's just take it back from about 6 in the morning yesterday. I think I opened my charts on this Crude chart. I think it was about 5:30. But anyway, you know, so 6:30, you're getting, you know, buy signal here. You got another buy signal here. It's around the 57.24 area. Do you get a rally? Not much. 10 cents up to 30.34. Sort of come back down into that area. Where do you trade? You know, where you have this zone, right, where you had the buying coming in earlier, that you knew you had some supportive buying coming in here in this bar, and look what happens. We sort of what do you want to call it? What's the term to use for that? You sort of drift back down into this area down in here around the 24 area. You know, anywhere between 20 to 24 you should be buying. You know, you got 2 zones, 2 areas here, I mean, stacked on top of each other, so you know there's buying in this, sort of in this, I don't say pocket, but in this, you know, this little area right here. So, you know, if you're able to buy it in there at 24, I mean, look, what do? We come back down to 22, draw this out. It's right here. I mean, you know, I mean, look at that. You trade down here to 22, right? It's still within these zones. I said if you were to extend them out, then, you know, you would see that. And then boom, and then the move happens. What do? We shoot up. We shoot up to 48. It's a nice move. You know, it's a, you know, 20-cent move in the Crude before, you know, by 7 o'clock Chicago time. So anyway, we just start drifting around. Just make this chart a little smaller. It's a little easier to see. Again, you get some selling pressure coming in here. You do pop up at right on 8 o'clock, 8:01. Get 4 cents, 5 cents through it. You know, before it before it starts selling off again. You know, we got the buying in here. Just sort of go sideways. Again, it's a minute-based chart. Now you sort of breaking down. Okay. And again, you know, it's a minute-based chart. Say you're getting along in here at 8:15. You know, you're looking at 8:30 and it's still trading around break even. You know, 30 minutes later, 15 minutes later, you might want to consider, you know, you're not getting paid on the trade. You might want to consider getting out. So then, you know, so you got your zones here, right? Support becomes resistance. Resistance becomes support. Draw these zones out a little bit so you could understand how to trade support and resistance. I mean, it's you know, I'm not claiming to invent that saying, you know, support becomes resistance. Resistance, you know, that's been around for hundreds of years. I mean, you know, read the classic textbooks on technical analysis. Edwards and McGee explains it all. So it's not like I'm just making this up to fit the narrative. No, it's how people trade. It's how very successful traders have been trading for many years. Your support here area, this blue area, right? Earlier you had the support. You trade down, support becomes resistance. Now you're getting resistance selling up in here. You know, what level is this? 57.12, 57.15. You know, 14 in here. So I mean, if you could be selling in this bar already, you know, that's great. You know, selling it at 57.15, trades all the way down below 5,700, gets down to 56. What is that? 56.93 is the low at that time. You know, you do test it, do rally back up here, and then you get some buying. You get a buy and a sell here. This sell breaks down, stops you out. Where are we here? And 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, things got a little bit messy. No other way to describe it. But you can see here at 9:58, you had this. Let me just open this up a little bit. Here, you had this buy here, but it ran right into a sell. You know, it would have been nicer if you didn't have that sell in there. But again, you know, you're dealing with 1-minute charts. Sometimes it's going to get a little hairy in the sense that, you know, if you got small bars, you might get some signals on there. And there's nothing you can do about it if the bar is small. But as you can see, right, you take this trade, okay, then it tells you to get out. You get out, maybe you scratch the trade, you're short, you get stopped out. Okay, maybe between the two you lose a tick or 2 ticks. Okay, fine, fair enough. You just had 2 trades, 1 winner, 1 loser, you're down 2 ticks, fine, whatever. Then boom, you get another signal here. It's a minute-based chart, so you can get in, as soon as this bar is about to close. And if you got in on, on this bar here, what's this price? We're trading 57.20. You call it 57.18 in here. Boom, big selling immediately. Trades down to 10. That's quick 10 ticks in the crude. It's a $100 move. So say you get short, say you're short here, right? You just hold it. Okay, boom, boom, boom. So we're trading around break even. That's 10.10, 10.20. You're starting to tick down again, 57.10. Okay, and look, it's going down, back down to 57. 03, 04, and then it just sort of hangs around here. Sideways here, we're trading 50, just still below that 57.20 area. In here we have this sell, which is what, this one here, 57.22. This is 57.22. You're still below that resistance area, and you're getting some more selling pressure coming in, 57.16, 57.18. And we trade, what do? We trade back down to 02 again. So you get, you're able to catch these little moves, like this one. Yeah, you just sort of spin your wheels for 5 minutes, but then, boom, you get another signal. It's giving you another opportunity to get short in there. Okay, then later in the day, what time is it here? Where's my clock here? So it's 12, whatever, 12:03, and you got a sell signal here. Where am I here? 12:03. And look at this. It's right at the opening price. And this line here is, if you go to NinjaTrader and you go to indicators, they got a nice indicator which I like to use, because you got to have some sort of day time frame reference. And it's this one, current day open, high, low, close here. Free. Boom. Some people are selling this for $150. But it's free. You just add it. You could change whatever colors. The high is, you see the green lines on my chart. The low is the red line, and the open is, this is orange. It actually looks a bit more yellow. But anyway, on a market that's directionless, you tend to hang around the opening price, right? Even though, the market's got big fluctuation above and below, if we start hanging around, at some point, start hanging around the opening price, at that point, the market, it's sort of found its value and just sort of rotating around value, and you're going to move above it, you're going to move below it, and it's going to give you some trading opportunities, even though it's kind of a boring market. But if you understand support and resistance, it's going to give you some nice trading opportunities. So here you go. We're right at that level. Okay, it's giving you a sell signal. It's telling you there's some support, resistance selling here. And what is this? 57, 27 is that level. But say you're getting short, the next bar or two, 57.24, even 57.22 down in here. This is 22 here. Say you're late, right? Say you're eating your roast beef sandwich, and by the time you press sell, it's it's trading down here at 57.22. Okay, fine. You're short at 22. Just sort of hangs around. So it's it's lunchtime. It's not making monster moves, very quick, but it's sort of winding its way down. Next thing you know, we're trading 57.14. Just sort of hanging around. You're still in the money a little bit, a few cents. Still in the money, still in the money, still in the money. Not really moving anywhere. Again, you're on a 1 minute chart. Honestly, if I was short at 20 at 12:03, and if I'm looking at it here at 12:30, and what, my 5 cents, 6, 7 cents in the money, I'd just take it. I'm not going to look for a move. I'd be bored already. Expecting the move to happen. It hasn't really happened, but the market's quiet. I mean, look at this. Some of these bars got 2 price levels. There's basically bid and offers trading. Basically bid and offers trading. That's it. That's how quiet it is. But anyway, if you're one of those people, no, I'm going to stick with the sinking ship. I'm going to wait for it to either stop me out or go to a big profit target. 57, the opening price 27 right here, right? And I'm telling you, get short around 22, 24. Actually trades all the way back down to 5,700, right? Before it snaps back. Then you get a buy signal here at 1:20 in the afternoon. And what is this? Where are we trading? 57.10, 57.08. And what do we do? 57, we can call it 57.10. This is 10 right here. This bar is, we call it 12. That's the high of this bar is 12. The next 2 or 3 minutes we don't even get above 12. So say you're filled at 12. In the old days when you call the floor, you'd be filled at 12 no matter what. But You say you filled at 12. What happens? Look, over the next 15 minutes, what do? We trade all the way back up to unchanged, which is not unchanged, but the opening price, which is 57.27. That's 15 cents. Eventually we do get a little bit on the other side of it, but by this time it's already getting late in the afternoon. It's 2:30. I prefer crude for me basically after 2:10 in the afternoon, which is the old floor close. It really gets thin, but on some days you do got some numbers coming out after late in the afternoon here. That's why you see this volatility. Also, you got the markers as well, and so that was it. Going into the night session, I don't think there was any trades in that night session. Doesn't look like. So it's kind of a quiet session. Yeah, I'm sure we'll get some probably in an hour or so. But that's the crude oil, okay? Now, euro currency yesterday, this is a 1 minute chart. I forgot to open up an 8 range chart, but there was one signal, and it was a losing trade right here. Just stopped you. I'm not going to say, support became support again. I'm not going to quarterback it that way, but if you're draw it out. No, I mean, you had your support level here. I'd be more interested if the buying came back in here. You can see we're just sort of hanging around it. But, if anything, you get the sell off, come back up in here. I honestly, the way I would have traded this is I'd have limits in here, sells, not buys. I'd be getting short here with stops right above here to get out, right? Because what I'd be looking for is this market to, this support level break down, rally back up in here, get short, and sell off again. But again, I know people that will also, they'll get short here, have buy stops up here. If that fails, they'll have, more stops to get in here, because they're going to look to catch this move back up, right? But again, there's a lot of different ways to trade. There's no one right way to trade. There's a lot of different ways. It's part of your trading plan. You got to decide how you're going to trade. But the last chart I want to show you is the E-minis. All right, so this is the E-mini 1 minute chart, and you can see how since the cash opened here, what it was at 25.90, started rallying. You got this nice buying imbalance. You continue to rally up, up, up. You get up here towards this high, up in here. You hit the high. Over the next 5 minutes, you keep hitting it once, twice, 3 times, and then you got the selling imbalance, and then the market, if you remember, market sold off. You got another selling imbalance in there. But again, this is where if you're not trained to look for things, in the order flow, if you don't know what to look for in the order flow, what's the point of using a footprint chart, right? It's kind of pointless. You could use whatever you want. I mean, that's, I see these quote trading prop houses nowadays. They like to call themselves prop houses. I'm not gonna name names, but they'll say, oh, we got our platinum membership. Pay us $5,000. 5,000 pounds, and we'll teach you how to be a prop trader. When what they do is they just sit you down in front of a dome or a chart and say, okay, here, stare at it and figure it out yourself. Basically, just give you a little bit of guidelines that you could probably just get off the internet for free anyway. But there's specific things that you have to look for, right? And if you don't know what to look for, you're not going to find them. And that's why I create these tools, is because I've been staring at this is what I did for 20 years. I stared at the screen, for God's sakes, and it's freaking boring, honestly. But there's certain things that I'm looking for, right? And so, can you see in here reasons to be selling just in the order flow? You're looking at a 1 minute chart? No. Okay, but if you look at here, you can see it. This is where my indicator is kicking off, right here, right up here at this high. You hit the high, you're still trading in the zone. You got 5 minutes. More than 5 minutes to get short. Yeah, sure, you can get short here on the stack selling imbalance. That's a great sell, actually, as well. And what happens if you look at a minute-based chart, a lot easier to see. This is it. This is that high. What do we do? 25.93.5, all the way down into new lows. Immediately down into 85.5. Eventually went lower. I mean, what other methods are going to give you ways to see what's happening and get short at the high, or right at the high, or around the high of the day? to catch a move from getting short at the high of the day. Now again, I'm not trying to predict the highs or lows. I'm letting the market tell me what it sees. And you can see it, that's on a 1 minute chart. Gosh, go from the high down to the low. There was a sell later in the day. Did it work? Yeah, I mean, yeah, we sold off, went into the cash calls, we sold off. But again, the move, yeah, that's a nice little winning trade. Your resistance later became support. You can draw it out. You can see here, we trade back down here. But I mean, really, the one to talk about is this one here. These are the moves that you want as a trader. One trade a day, you get this one, happy days. You get this other one that's a little bit of a winner. This is about a point, 25.85 down to 25.83, point and a half, 83.5. That's also a decent trade, but that's nothing compared to this trade. Now, I'm not saying you'd sell it up here and buy it down here. You could sell it here, and if you cover it down in here, you're already happy. You already got five handles out of that trade. Alrighty, so I'll end it on that. Again, if you're free this afternoon, I'll say this afternoon, this morning, try and sign up for my webinar. And again, you can go to the description below or go to my website. The sign up here, I'll try and put it in here. You could sign up on my website. Just go to www.orderflows.com/signup.html. That's what it is. Make that a little smaller so it fits on there. But that's where you go. You could sign up there. Again, if you can't attend, you can't attend. But at least if you're signed up, you could be emailed the link to the replays when they're available, usually the next day or two. So anyway, thanks again. And he said if you're interested in the indicator, it is available. It's available for NinjaTrader 7 and NinjaTrader 8. Both versions are available right now. I'm going to have a special on my webinar today to get the software. If you already have one of my other softwares, I'll be sending out an email later today with a discount. If you're already, say you got the Delta Scalper. People ask, how do you use this with the Delta Scalper? It's basically simple, right? You know where support or resistance is based on this indicator. Then if you see the Delta Scalper giving you a signal within a few bars, take it. And again, next week I'm going to try and do a live, I'm hoping to do a live presentation of this indicator on the 15th. The timing is still yet to be determined, but it's going to be for users of the software that have the indicator. And I think it's going to not change the way you look at the markets, but it's going to open up the markets to how you can approach it. Trading is not being a one-trick pony. Having only one I don't say one indicator, but having only one way to trade, because markets don't trade in one way. Sometimes they trade in a range, sometimes they trend, and sometimes you're going to get reversals. So if you could have a way to trade all three of those, and basically you've got three different trading methods, three different trading plans you could go into. You could go in saying, okay, well, I know if we're going to range trade, this is how I'm going to approach it. If the market's going to trend, this is how I'm going to approach it. When the market's going to make a reversal, hopefully I could catch it. You're not going to catch every reversal. You're not going to catch every trend. You're not going to catch every range zone. But again, you don't need to, right? If you could catch that that move like I showed you in the S&Ps, DAX. Before I forget, that's what I wanted to talk about today, is DAX, right? Okay, because DAX is a market that moves a lot, right? And this is this morning, I don't know what time it is now, but you can see here, right? This is the 8th. Today's, it's Wednesday. You get a buy signal right here, 13,380. Trades all the way up to 390. You got a sell signal. This one didn't work. Okay, rally back up again. I'm not going to say this resistance became support here. We're just sort of trading around it. Then we broke up. Then you got a failed signal here, a failed signal there. Okay, fine. We're only been open for an hour and a half, 2 hours, but we'll see how it's going to take shape. But let's take a look. Let's go back to yesterday. This is a market, right? That if you're right, you could be rewarded very quickly. If you're wrong, fine, you get out very quickly. But let's just take a look here. I mean, going back to whatever 3 in the morning. I mean, honestly, I'm not sure what time I opened my chart. Okay, let's just go back. Say this one failed on you. Okay, fine. You're getting short here at 3. What is that? Say you're getting short here. Worst case scenario, 321, 521. You're stopped out. Call it 5 up here, way up here. Okay, you lost 4 ticks. But you get long in here at 98, 99, something in here. Boom, what does it do? It trades all, you got to be trailing your stop. Long at 98, 99, it trades all the way up in here. Maybe you're getting stopped out in here. I don't know, that's at 05. Maybe you're trailing your stop and you're stopped out up here a little bit higher. I don't know. This buy fails. Here's a sell. You got a little bit of a move out of it. Again, you're trailing your stop. Maybe you're getting something out of it. You get a short here. You get stopped out. But then here, you're getting short at 500. Right here, this is 500 here. You got 1 bar, 2 bars. Boom, from 500 all the way down to 75. This is 75 right here. I mean, the low is 71.5. But look at this. Very quickly, you're rewarded. So, all these little dings here, there, boom, forget about it. You're short here at 98, so call it here 98 or 97. Say you're short at 97. You're out at, your stops up here at 02. It's 5 ticks, but you just, went from 13,500 down to 475. That's 25 ticks. So you lost 5, but you just got back 25. Then you're sort of spinning around in here, here. Here you get stopped out. Maybe you get stopped out on this. I don't know. Maybe you could squeeze something out of these two. Maybe not. But again, you got another trade in here. You're getting short. Call it 79. It trades all the way back up here. But if you're trailing your stop from 79, maybe getting out here. I'm not saying no, you'd get out down here. No, you'd probably be trailing your stop. These two fail on you. This one fails. You get stopped out most likely. But then again, here, you're getting short from 57. 58, 57, 58, all the way down into, below 50. Then you got another move here. You got a sell followed by a buy really quick. This is not a scratch. You're probably losing a few ticks, but then you're catching this buy, right? You're getting along at, 63, 64. Trades all the way up in here. You're getting a sell signal up here at 70. All right? You got a buy here, and you're probably not going to take another buy. You're already long from here. But then you got a sell signal here, 68. Go from 68. All the way down to the 50s. Maybe you're trailing your stop, you're getting out somewhere over here, 58. And that's I'd love to say you catch this whole move here. You got to buy. This one failed. Okay, fine, but you're getting stopped out relatively quick. It's not like you're buying it here and you're getting stopped out down here. No, you know that if you're on the other side of this, it's time to bail out of that trade. Here's one. It starts going up. Maybe you get out. Maybe you get stopped out down here on this bar. Okay, fine. You got another entry right here. You're getting long, 65. What do? You just still got this, cash is closed at this time, so moves are not as violent. But again, if you're getting long from, what is this, 66, 65, all the way up into the 70s, up in here, 80s even. Then really late in the day, you got another buy signal here. But again, this is the beauty of the indicator, right? On different markets. Again, this setting that I got on here, I don't even know what I got on here. This one's set to 50, minimum volume threshold of 50. Because DAX on a 1-minute chart, sometimes it trades decent volume, sometimes it doesn't. I want to restrict the indicator to given signals when it's a minimum of 50 contracts trade. So hopefully by now you could see the power of this indicator, and then hopefully you can wrap it into your own style of trading. So thanks everyone, and again, try and catch my webinar later today if you can. If you can't, oh well. Thanks everyone, have a great day.